Everyone please be seated. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. The Honorable Isnawaisa Munira Majlis, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, MASTEC, Malaysia. Dr. Jamila Hashim, Director of Sarawak State Health Department, representing Minister of Health, Malaysia. Dr. Nur Zaitun Yahya, President, Malaysia Clean Air Forum Society, MICAS. Mr. Bjarne Peterson, Executive Director, Clean Air Asia, CAA. Mr. Peter Sawal, Controller of Environmental Quality, Natural Resources and Environment Board, NREB, Sarawak. Mr. Robert O'Keefe, Chairman of Clean Air Asia, Board of Trustees. Members of the media, distinguished speakers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10th Better Air Quality Conference, the Asia's largest and most prestigious air quality gathering with the theme Regional Action, Global Impact. Now to those who are here for the first time, welcome or selamat datang, and we really hope that you're enjoying your stay here at the multicultural, vibrant and diverse city of Kuching. Okay, to start with our program, let's just do a quick run of the safety briefing video brought to you by the Borneo Convention Center, Kuching, BCCK.
Dear guests, welcome to Borneo Convention Center, Kuching, formerly known as BCCK. Your safety is our first priority, and in order to accomplish this goal, it is essential that we are familiar with our emergency procedures in order to respond appropriately during an emergency. Please give your attention throughout this briefing. For your information, BCCK is a 4-story building from level 1 to level 4. The following floor plan is at level 1, which shows the emergency escape routes, arrows clearly marked in red, and the exit doors are marked with a keluar sign in green. The following plan is at level 2. It is very important for you to note the 4 staircases are marked in red, and all the fire doors are marked in green with the sign keluar for evacuation. For first aid assistance, security and emergency, you may call the numbers as listed. BCCK first aid room is located at the back of Great Hall area. When you hear the second continuous alarm followed by an announcement on the public address system, please leave the floor immediately by using the exit door which is nearest to you. Please remain calm and don't panic. Avoid the usage of lifts and escalators. Proceed to the nearest emergency exit out of the building to the designated assembly area, which is located at the flagpole area in front of BCCK as shown in the following slide. During the evacuation, our floor wardens will direct you to the assembly area as mentioned. Wait for further instructions from BCCK staff. All areas inside this building are non-smoking. Smoking is only permitted at designated areas, that is, outside in front of the building at level 1 and level 2. Your safety is our main concern. Thank you for your kind attention and have a pleasant day.
Okay, there you have it, the safety briefing video from BCCK. And now we shall proceed with the opening plenary session. Now the first plenary speaker is a woman of great distinctions. She is the Malaysian representative for the Clean Air Asia, an agency registered under United Nations Environment Programme. She is also the president for Malaysia Clean Air Forum Society, MICAS, and the co-chair of BAQ conference. Currently a senior lecturer at University Malaysia Terengganu, she previously won a gold medal in the 27th International Invention and Innovation Exhibition, ITEX 2016, and silver medal at the Minggu Penyelidikan Inovasi 2018. For her outstanding research project entitled My Atmos, a novel method with stochastic approach to analyze big data. Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite to the stage Dr. Noor Zaitun Yahya, President of MICAS and co-chair of BAQ Conference, to address her welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Mrs. Thailand. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all participants and distinguished guests during this BAQ. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Isna Reisha Munirah Majlis, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Jamila Hashim, Director, Sarawak State Health Department, representing Minister of Health, Malaysia, Mr. Bian Patterson, Executive Director, the Clean Air Asia, Mr. Peter Shawwal, Controller of Environmental Quality, Natural Resources and Environmental Board of Sarawak, and Mr. Robert O'Keefe, the Chair, Board of Trustees, the Clean Air of Asia. Distinguished guests and all 10 Better Air Quality Conference participants. First and foremost, on behalf of the organizing committee, I'm pleased to welcome you all to the 10 Better Air Quality Conference. I'm grateful to see many experts who will come to share their knowledge in this event. I also welcome the many representatives from governments, industries, associations, and NGOs who will join us this week. I believe we have chosen an excellent venue that guarantees a successful conference and meetings amid the culture and a good scene of Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia indeed. A glance through the list of presentations planned for these next few days reveals that amazing diversity of the key people involved in the air quality field. The event involved 18 parallel sessions with a total of 148 scientific papers presented throughout the event. 100 of them are oral presentations, while the rest are poster presentations. The total participants amounted up to more than 650, with more than 75% of them are coming from international participants. Thus, it is a big hope that BAQ 2018 will serve you as a good platform to scout any initiative that will assist Malaysia in contributing towards sustainable development goals, Paris Climate Agreement, and also new urban agenda. It is also a high time that such an event took place to highlight the remarkable discoveries, technologies, as well as solutions in air quality. Conferences such as this provide a valuable opportunity for research scientists, industries, as well as young researchers, decision makers, have a roundtable discussion and share experiences in contributing towards the cleaner air for us to breathe in. Ladies and gentlemen, this 10 BAQ mark an important milestone for our society. The Clean Air Society Forum of Malaysia to embark on a landmark collaboration partnership with one of the Asia leading society in air quality. MICAS is a national non-governmental organization registered to Clean Air Asia and was established in 2014 BAQ in Colombo, Sri Lanka. It was primarily mandated to be the voice of Malaysia and led the country in its mission towards a continual improvement of air quality in Malaysia particular. MICAS promote information exchange by working collaboratively with individuals, organizations, businesses, and government agencies. Additionally, MICAS also undertake research, monitoring, consultation, awareness program, and education, public education, and policy development in order to achieve their goal and mission. As of 2018, the active members of MICAS is already approximately 300, and we expect to be more will register within these 2-3 days, including the academic, researchers, governmental officers, practitioners, industries, students, as well as anybody who are interested to be a member. Alright, a little bit about BAQ. The initiative of bringing BAQ to Malaysia was first voiced out during the 7th BAQ in Hong Kong in 2012. The motivation aroused when we realized that the last BAQ was held in Southeast Asia during 6th BAQ in Singapore in 2010. Since then, the BAQ have moved out to far away to Sri Lanka in 2014 and to South Korea in 2016. It was also during that time the Southeast Asia whereby were experiencing the chronic haze and transboundary issues that we then decided that it was the high time that we need to bring this BAQ back to Southeast Asia region, in particular back to Malaysia, as to focus on this area. However, during that time, Malaysia is still not yet ready to host BAQ, as we need to first have a local association to host the event, and we need to prepare some additional homework in domestic preparation. As discussed, has not stopped there, and keep going until a roundtable meeting in 2014 in Sri Lanka. It was then we formed the first part-time committee of MICAS, followed by another meeting in 2016, then finally led to the establishment of MICAS and the confirmation of registration office with the Legislative Office of Malaysia. And here, today, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to all MICAS pro tempore committee, which some of them are here and some of them may be somewhere there, that make this association become a reality and entitle us to be one of the regional air quality association under Clean Air Asia umbrella, and finally allowing us to bid as a host for this the 10th BAQ in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather in this room, I would like to take this opportunity to call upon our stakeholders to continue to work with us by registering as a member, MICAS member. Additionally, we also welcome more collaborations with national and international organizations through research and development, training organizations, or in human resource development. The collaboration will provide MICAS as a platform to learn and exchange knowledge with experts, as well as to share the best practice in the development of clean air cities. As this effort will definitely help in increasing the visibility of MICAS among the international audience, as well as helping Malaysia in finding a solution for cleaner and healthier air. Finally, last but not least, I would like to thank every organization and individuals that make the 10th BAQ happen. These include our main sponsor, Natural Resource Environment Board, NREB, which led by Mr. Peter Shawal, and Sarawak Chief Minister Office, as well as other support sponsors, as listed in the banner over there, and partners. Also, not to forget the higher education institution involved as a supporting organization this prestigious event, namely University Malaysia Terengganu, University Malaysia Sarawak, University Putra Malaysia, University Malaya, University Technology Malaysia, University Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia, and Polytechnic Malaysia, and maybe there's some more that not written here. Big thanks as well as to all speakers, participants, invited guests, and every other individuals that may directly or indirectly involved towards the successfulness of BAQ 2018 in time. Not to forget the committee members, the hard work of their effort to make it happen. I'm sure you will have fruitful and rewarding exchange in next few days. I wish you a very success and with this conference, and I look forward to learn more about the outcome. With that, thank you very much and enjoy the BAQ. Thank you very much again.
Right, thank you, Dr. Noor, for the welcoming remarks. Okay, now the next plenary speaker is a fellow Sarawakian. He is the Controller of Environmental Quality, Natural Resources and Environment Board, NREB, Sarawak, and he is also the Chairman of Local Organizing Committee of BAQ 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the man himself, who happens to be my handsome boss, Mr. Peter Sawa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Honorable Deputy Minister of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, Ms. Inariska Monira Majlis, Dr. Jamila, Director of Health Sarawak, representing Minister of Health, Yang Bahagia Datuk Dr. Najib, Director General of the Department of Environment Malaysia, Mr. Peterson, Executive Director, Clean Air Asia, Robert O'Keefe, Chairman, Clean Air Asia, Dr. Noor Zaitun Yahya, President of Clean Air Forum Society of Malaysia, Chairman Organizing Committee of 10 Better Quality BAQ 2018 Conference, keynote speakers, panelists, delegates from national and local government agencies, international organizations and associations, representatives from private sector, research and academic institutions from far and near, friends of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of the local organizing committee, I wish you all a very good morning. Selamat pagi in a local Dayak dialect, selamat datang. To all delegates, especially to all our foreign delegates to the City of Unity, Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia. Back in 2016, Dr. Noor Zaitun, President of MICAS, and her members spared us a courtesy call to inform us that MICAS, together with the Sarawak Convention Bureau, SCB, is bidding to host the 10 Better Equality Conference 2018, specifically to have this BAQ conference in Sarawak. In line with the policy of the state government, which encourages ministries and state agencies to proactively promote Sarawak as the destination for conference, adventure and nature, MICAS have the full support of the state government and the cooperation of my agency, that is the Natural Resources Environment Board and NREB Sarawak, to ensure the success of this BAQ 2018. We are proud indeed to be the host of this year's BAQ conference, and in this connection we thank the Clean Air Asia for the trust and confidence in choosing Kuching, Sarawak as the venue for this year's conference. Ladies and gentlemen, poor air quality can have long-term effects to human health and the socio-economic activities of the people. In Sarawak, as a developing state within Malaysia, we too face smoke-haze pollution, especially during the dry season from the month of May to September. Fortunately or unfortunately, you all are lucky to enjoy good air quality this time around. If you do come sometime in the early part of the year, you may enjoy the hazy situation with us. My agency, that is NREB, Sarawak, and the Federal Department of Environment have forged strategic partnership in monitoring and enforcing both the federal and state environmental law and regulations to prevent air pollution from local sources. Thus far, this strategic interagency collaboration and continuous environmental outreach and awareness program, which aim to inculcate environmental stewardship among all our stakeholders, have made it possible for us in Sarawak to enjoy better air quality for most time of the year. This is in line with our vision of clean, green, and healthy Sarawak. In a small way, we hope that our local action can contribute toward regional and global effort in combating global warming. While we have succeeded in preventing air pollution from local sources, the state of Sarawak still has problems of perennial transboundary haze pollution. To monitor air pollution in urban areas, there are currently 12 air quality monitoring stations throughout the state and 3 stations at border towns to monitor transboundary haze. In addition, the transboundary haze pollution is being dealt through government-to-government forums such as the SDN Ministerial Forum, Sub-Ministerial and Technical Committee meeting, and the Susek Malindo Committee meeting between official government officials from Sarawak and also from Kalimantan, Indonesia. Therefore, this BAQ conference is very timely indeed, and we sincerely hope that our local delegate can learn from this experience from other parts of Asia and international organizations in dealing with air pollution and foster strategic collaboration for long-term and sustainable solution to air pollution in Asia and globally. Once again, we do hope that you all have wonderful experience and memorable stay in Kuching, Sarawak. Do spend time to explore the city of Kuching, the city unity, and the nearby tourist attraction sites, which are within short travel distance from Kuching city. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your stay, enjoy your networking, and also to learn from experience, from the network you have with your friends and new colleagues that you're going to acquire from this conference, and for us all from the local community. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peter, for the welcoming address. And now, a brief introduction of the third plenary speaker. He is an accomplished expert in environmental issues, paired with more than 10 years of strategic leadership experience in international development organizations, with comprehensive experience in leading and developing NGOs. He has lived and worked in Europe, Africa, and Latin America before taking up the post as Executive Director of Clean Air Asia in Manila, Philippines in 2013. He holds a master's degree in international environmental issues from Strathclyde University, UK. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Bjarne Pedersen, the Executive Director of Clean Air Asia and BAQ Conference Chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Deputy Minister Majid, Dr. Jamila Hashim, Dr. Noor, Peter Sawa, Dr. Keith, all protocol observed, friends and colleagues, welcome to BAQ 2018. I'm very, very pleased to see you all here. Since 2 years, I saw you last at Kuching. We have a feast for you, I hope. More than 620 participants. That was the day before yesterday. I believe we're higher today. Representing 48 countries: Asia Pacific, Africa, North America, Europe, Middle East. Participants from environment, energy, transport ministry, city representatives, research, academia, development, civil society organizations, industry associations, and the private sector. BAQ, we are indeed an encompassing broad venue for all opinions about air quality and how we work together for better air quality. Over the next 2.5 days, you'll have 41 plenaries to select from, breakout sessions, pre-events, side events already happens, there's a few post-events, and I hope you will enjoy our exhibition outside with our sponsors. Since last BAQ, feels like 2 years is a long time. I would like to see more progress in the air quality area. We have seen some. I myself is pleased that we have an emerging consensus of air quality as a big equalizer between environment, health, and climate change. And I'll talk a little bit more about why I think this is important to foster the action and commitment that we need to face the challenge of better or create better air quality. Regional cooperation, city action critical to progress, being more understanding of that political will, we all know equally critical at all levels. We're also starting to grasp the scale of the challenge, not necessarily the detail of the challenge, but there is far better understanding of the scale of the challenge that lies ahead of us as we work to mitigate air pollution. And on the positive side, and you will hear more of this several times in the conference, China has actually made some headway in mitigating air pollution, focus shifting to India and Southeast Asia often being seen as the next frontier. This slide is just a slide that I want to show you as an introduction. I called for the Cleaner Asia China Day, where you learn quite a lot more about what China has achieved over the last 5 years in mitigating air pollution and what we think can be learned from this. But challenges still lie there. 98% of Asian cities are at risk from the health impacts of exposure to PM2.5. Ahead of this conference, Clean Air Asia updated our regional assessment with the disappointing result that only 7 of the 419 cities that we carry data on actually meet the PM2.5 annual average of WHO guidelines. Still a lot of work to do ahead. Data is still an issue. Why we feel that this conference should focus on solutions and commitment. We also need to recognize that the baseline need for data and to understand the sources is important, and the monitoring and provision of data forms the basis of any action we choose to take or should take to control sources of air pollution. And air pollution is indeed becoming a more complex issue. I will not use an opening speech to go through this very detailed slide. I just point you to the solution side from our own China Air report, illustrating the detail and complexity of a science-based air quality management system. This is an example from China, but indeed it is not a simple fix to meet the challenges that we have ahead of us, as this slide shows. So what do we have in store for you for the next 2.5 days? As I mentioned yesterday at the reception, we have designed BAQ slightly different this time, in the hope, and based on feedback from last BAQ, that we provide more space for interaction, more space for talk, more space for dialogue. Solutions, as I mentioned, partnership and focus. I hope you will be able to feel that through the conference, and certainly we will focus on this in the final conference statement that we will present to you on Friday. We also would like to reinforce community understanding and commitment between ourselves to face the challenges ahead, and of course share the lessons and good practices. Besides the conference, there is also events outside. Weather permitting, we have our walkability and air sensing tour. Clean Air Asia is launching our IBAQ program learning portal, where we provide online capacity building training materials for better air quality management. We have the China Day, where we're tracking progress, as an example, of the implementation of air quality management policies in China. We will be happy to launch the latest report to bring you up to date on the China Day, together with actually a summarized version of the breakthroughs that has been made looking at the positive in China. So do look out for the China Day organized by the Clean Air Asia China office. You will also find an updated version for your information about status and trends across Asia from Clean Air Asia. Really looking across where we are right now in Asia, we hope we'll be able to take that forward to BAQ 2020 and hopefully have better figures in there than we have now. In conclusion, I feel we know more than we knew at the last BAQ. We know more about the health impacts, we know more about the capacity needed, we know more about the toolbox and solutions needed to meet the challenges ahead. But the urgency of moving the agenda forward also becomes more and more critical. In short, the more we know, the greater the urgency, the need to find concrete solutions. Win, 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 no having food, no regrets. I will take most solutions in any form they come. Learning and cooperation among different stakeholders, that's key, and become even clearer than since our last BAQ. We need to harvest solutions from across Asia where things work, and we need to learn from them, cross the levers rather than reinvent the wheel. And we're in for a long haul. Renewable, sustainable cities, low emissions, urban development. We need to be able to work on the longer term issues as well. Finally, in conclusion, ultimately success will come without unity. Air pollution neither knows nor respects national borders, social status, or our climate. Collaboration is hence vital if we are to avoid the impending calamity. As we address the challenges ahead, let us recognize that our strength lies in our shared vision and our future, and a future without air pollution is our shared responsibility. And now is the time for action, commitment, and solution. Thank you, and again, welcome to you all, colleagues and friends. Looking forward to hosting you next 6.5 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Biane, for the welcoming remarks. That wraps up the welcoming remarks by all of our organizing chairs of BAQ Conference 2018. Now is the setting the scene for BAQ Conference, focusing on health impacts of air pollution. The next speaker is the Vice President of the Health Effects Institute, HEI. As Vice President, he is responsible for managing the Institute's international programs to assess the health effects of air pollution in developing countries and its work to apply the global burden of disease estimates to air pollution and source specific impacts in developing Asia. He is a member of the US EPA's National Clean Air Act Advisory Committee and chairs the Board of Directors of Clean Air Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Robert O'Keefe, Chairman of Clean Air Asia Board of Trustees.
welcome and thank you to our honored hosts in this beautiful country of Malaysia. And let me be the first to do what the owner can't do, is to thank him and his staff who have worked so hard to put this remarkable program together. The Clean Air Asia staff are everywhere, they are your friends. I will talk today about setting the stage for BAQ 2018, building on some of the themes that the owner raised, and talking about the case for action and commitment more broadly, to follow up on some of the many more detailed themes that will occur in this meeting. The case for action, being a health scientist, for me, begins with health. The health is a driver not only for governments, but very much on the individual and personal levels. The latest global burden of disease estimates really underscore that issue, with the 2016 estimates listing air pollution among the top ranked global risk factors, things we all get sick and die from. And this chart depicts outdoor particulate matter and household air pollution is contributing to 4.1 and 2.6 million premature deaths, respectively, on an annual basis around the world. WHO, at its most recent call to life, coming to action as an organization, 2 weeks ago in Switzerland, identified air pollution as the new tobacco. Is that hyperbole, or is that really true? Well, if we look at this chart of GBD rankings, we see that high blood pressure and smoking are the top two risk factors around the world, but that when you combine ambient air pollution and household air pollution, it does indeed rival smoking, and hopefully will motivate people to act in the same way that they did to bring smoking to much, much lower levels. If we look to China, we see the same types of impacts. Ambient air pollution responsible for over 1 million deaths, and household air pollution a little bit lower, the 9th ranking impact, but still over 600,000 people dying prematurely. In India, it's a similar issue, except household air pollution has moved up the ranks to the 4th largest contributor to the national health burden. So wherever we look, even in cities that are not represented on this chart, and all of you who are in this room, indoor and outdoor air pollution are the reason we are here. At the same time, the other reason we're here, using air pollution as a vehicle to address an equal or more significant problem, frankly, on a global level, climate change, it too is growing and will affect air pollution, health, and more. As we see in this chart from the latest IPCC report, which was quite alarming, showing an increase in the acceleration in the rate of climate change, moving us closer to the 1.5 degree centigrade rise that everyone is trying to avoid. Air pollution is implicated in many diseases, but more are suspected. The recognized diseases and the numbers that I pointed out to you earlier include heart attack, stroke, lung cancer, pneumonia, and just recently diabetes. Very prominent diseases in the population, diseases of aging and young. But there's also emerging evidence that didn't make the GBD calculations because the science wasn't quite ripe enough in terms of its links to causality, that include preterm birth, low birth weight, things like cognitive impairment, and even asthma, which is very prevalent around the world, and the data has not yet made it into the GBD analysis. So the numbers that I pointed out may prove to be conservative in the end. Air pollution affects everyone, we all know that, the rich, but the greatest effects are clearly among the poor. Low socioeconomic status means poor diet, usually cooking with dirty fuels, working in dirty workplaces, experiencing higher exposures from living in the poorer parts of town or in proximity to highways, and all of this with limited access to medical care. It's no surprise that air pollution remains the worst in countries with lower levels of development. As we see in this chart of the annual average population-weighted PM 2.5, where we see at the top of the chart the lowest income countries in the world, and at the bottom of the chart, the most well-off countries in the world. This is obviously a problem in developing Asia, and part of the reason that we are here today to do the work that we are engaged in. As we do this, and as we deal with the many, many ways of attacking air pollution that you all represent in this room, it's really, I think, critical to understand source-specific impacts as one effective way of achieving action, especially to maximize the public health impact from actions that are taken, and also to come up with cost-effective policies that are really necessary in countries with limited budgets. In China, when we look at source-specific impacts, we see industrial coal, transportation, domestic biomass burning as the top three. But when you step back and take a little bit of a closer look or an overview of these sources, you find that industrial coal, power plant coal, and domestic coal burning is the chief burden. And coal, in this particular case, at this particular time in China, is a source of major concern from a mortality perspective. If we look to India, the situation is somewhat similar but also different. Residential biomass burning is actually at the top of the list as the #1 source of air pollution and mortality in India. And in this case, residential burning of biomass for cooking and heating contributed some 24% of ambient PM2.5 and mortality burden to the ambient environment. So what does that do? That not only affects people like you and I who are breathing ambient air, almost a quarter of the pollution coming from household sources, but it creates a double burden for those who use those sources to cook and to heat their homes. Looking to the future is very important, and some of our work in India has projected future source contributions, and interestingly, we find as we look and we project through 2050 in India at some of these same major sources from agriculture and bricks and residential sources of transport and industry, that no matter which scenario used, whether it's business as usual, modest, or really advanced control strategies that are really needed to minimize health impacts, that coal begins to emerge as a source, a key source in India over time, obviously giving tremendous numbers of people in that country who are without electricity to this day and who will bring it on. Having said all that and depressed everyone, there are really good signs of progress that I'm really happy to report. Bjorn touched on a couple of these, and I will reiterate those in a little bit more depth. Certainly 90% or more of the world's population, Bjorn cited Asian figures, live in areas where air pollution exceeds the WHO guidelines. That's well known, but as Bjorn pointed out, the trends in China are showing positive declines in air pollution and mortality, beginning in 2013, progressing through 2016, and likely in part reflective of the fact that China has taken really an unprecedented level of action on compliance and enforcement throughout the country that I think is really quite inspiring. If we look at this data from CCAC, their most recent report on Asia Pacific projected exposure reductions from the adoption of clean air measures, we find that reductions in PM2.5 occur, and some of the largest ones occur with the implementation of the top 25 control measures. Leading the pack are vehicle standards, stationary source controls, and clean cooking. So there's ways forward in terms of projecting reductions in air pollution as well. Renewables are also showing a rapid rise, as I think most of us know, especially in key Asia-Pacific nations. India and China, again, leading the way, but certainly Japan, the Philippines, Republic of Korea, and Thailand are also in this game as well, and are really candidates for future growth in the technology and a series of technologies with solar and wind that are going to be sorely needed to attack the health impacts that I mentioned earlier from fossil fuels. And also, the other good news is the more reduction there is in air pollution, the greater the gains in life expectancy. There have been some questions about this. Asia is an aging population like most parts of the world, and one of the frustrating things is even as air pollution is reduced, the health burden doesn't go down as quickly as we'd like. Some new data that we'll report out in 2019 in January as part of the State of Global Air will document that indeed as WHO interim targets are met, we won't just see reductions in exposures or levels of air pollution, but we'll actually see reductions in mortality. That's great. It's going to produce benefits for society, not only for people and individuals who are affected, but cost savings for governments as well. So air quality and climate is both an imminent and a long-term challenge. Current business as usual impacts are severe for children, for the elderly, for poor, for asthmatics, the real faces of air pollution, the faces on the numbers that I pointed out, who really suffer. On the other hand, there's action on many fronts. Compliance and enforcement is increasingly aggressive, as we've heard, We see bans on older diesels, especially in Asian and European cities, increasing. And we see the infrastructure for electric vehicles being laid. At the same time, there's been sustained campaigns focusing on reducing coal use in many industry and electrical situations, and also in homes, and much more. And so with a grid that's powered less and less with coal, EVs are enabled, and the way forward using renewables and other sources to reduce air pollution and improve health is quite clear. Certainly we'll talk about those and many more solutions, how to attack regional haze and other sources over the next 3 days, which I'm very excited about. From a pragmatic perspective, having been in this for 20 years and having been a citizen in a country where air pollution fights started in the 1950s, we know that going forward there will be leaders, but there will really be pushback. And pushback happens when the pressure finally comes to reduce. It comes from science doubters, as we have in my country and in other places, some in industry, some reluctant regulators, and also a very compelling set of issues in the social ills of developing countries. There are many priorities that are difficult for economies to fund, and we understand that. And it will take, for all of you, a sustained commitment in the years ahead, and of all of us, the public, and our funders especially, to succeed. And we need your sustained support in the coming years to accomplish this task. There we go. The task we're trying to accomplish is reaching blue skies. And because air pollution harms blue skies, even at low levels, something that is not quite on the agenda here, we need to be sure that we have the long-term infrastructure and the fortitude to make sure that we move ultimately beyond blue skies to clean and healthy air and sustainable climate over the longer term. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, for the speech. All right, and now we have come to the much-awaited keynote addresses for BAQ 2018. Our first keynote speaker is the State Health Director. She was appointed as the leader for Health Group, Economic Sector under Sarawak State Digital Economy Program in 2017. On top of that, she is also a member of the Malaysian Medical Council and chair for Tim Teknik Kesihatan, Sosep Malindo, Sarawak. She has presented numerous technical papers at many international forums, mainly in the field of healthy cities, urban health, and sustainable urban development. She has also co-authored peer-reviewed journal articles and books on healthy cities and impact of haze on human health. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have the pleasure of calling upon Dr. Jamila Hashim, Director of Sarawak State Health Department, representing the Minister of Health Malaysia, to please come up on stage for the keynote address.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Puan Ina Raisa Munirah Majlis, Deputy Minister, Mestek, Mr. Biani Patterson, Executive Director, Clean Air Asia, Mr. Robert O'Keefe, Chairman, Clean Air Asia, Dr. Nur Zaitun Yahya, President, Clean Air Forum Society of Malaysia, Mr. Peter Sawal, Controller, Natural Resources and Environmental Board, Sarawak, distinguished guests, speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. May peace be upon you and a very good morning. First and foremost, I would like to express our gratitude for inviting the Ministry of Health and the Sarawak State Health Department to be a part of this important 10th Better Air Quality Conference held in our beautiful and healthy city of Kuching. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Health Malaysia, I will now speak on air pollution and its impact on health. Earth is the only planet in the universe that can support human life, at least for now. Therefore, it is very crucial that we realize this fact and be responsible to take very good care of it. Pollution has reached its peak due to the development and modernization in our lives. With the development of science and technology, there has been a huge growth of human potentials and technology. And as a result, we, the people, have become prisoners of our own creations. We waste the bounties of our nature without a thought that our actions have caused serious problems. Air pollution affects all regions of the world. However, populations in the low-income cities are the most impacted. According to the World Health Organization's latest Air Quality Database 2018, 97% of cities in low and middle-income countries with more than 100,000 inhabitants do not meet WHO air quality guidelines or standards. Activities that we humans do have caused a certain degree of destruction to our Earth. Such activities have resulted in an increase of global air pollution by 8% in the past 5 years. While much effort has been put in, which has resulted in improvements in air quality, there remains a large part of the world's population who has to continue to breathe dirty air. There is nothing like opening our window and breathing fresh, clean air. But then again, how clean is the air we are breathing right now? The invisible gases in the air we are breathing in through our nose could actually be slowly killing us. It is no longer, without a doubt, that air pollution is a major problem, not just for the people living in small, choked cities, but it has the potential to adversely affect all of us. It is unacceptable that over 3 billion people, or 40% of the world population, most of them women, elderly, and children, are still breathing deadly smoke every day from using polluting stoves and fuels in their homes. As our world gets hotter and more crowded, as our industries and engines continue to pump out dirty emissions, and when half of the world still lacks access to clean fuels and technologies, the very air we breathe is growing dangerously polluted. And as a result, now 9 out of 10 people now breathe polluted air. Ladies and gentlemen, WHO has defined air pollution as the presence in air of substances put there by acts of men in concentrations sufficient to interfere with the comfort, safety, or health of men, or with the full use or enjoyment of his property. A biological, chemical, and physical alteration of the air occurs when smoke, dust, and any harmful gases resulting from both human actions or natural phenomena enter the atmosphere and make it difficult for living beings to survive as the air becomes contaminated, both the ambient and indoors. Pollution disturbs the balance of our ecosystems, affecting our normal lifestyles, giving rise to human illnesses and global warming. WHO has issued an air quality guidelines for air pollutants which are regarded as the most harmful to health. The key health harmful pollutants, as we all know, include PM 2.5, PM 10, carbon monoxide, ground level ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, as well as lead. The sources of pollution vary from very small unit of cigarette smoke and natural sources such as volcanic activities to large volume of emission from motor engines of automobiles and industrial activities. Ambient air pollution can be caused by emission from industries which can include petroleum refineries, chemical industries, pulp, paper, textile industries, even small-scale industries like foundries or brick production can actually pollute significantly. Increasing from vehicular traffic is one of the most important sources of pollution in big cities. Other reasons for this are old vehicles, traffic congestions, bad roads, obsolete automotive technologies, and lack of traffic management system. Spraying of pesticides in agricultural activities increases the quantity of many chemicals used in pesticides in the surrounding atmosphere, polluting our environment. Dust generated in mining activities during blasting, excavation, crushing, transportation of ore, as well as their stockpile, releasing huge quantities of dust, and they become windborne and pollute our air. The combustion of coal or petroleum for the generation of heat and power from thermal power stations produce smoke and sulfur dioxide, and it is known that this industry has been responsible for releasing 2/3 of total sulfur dioxide in our air. We should not forget that air that we breathe in our homes. The pollutants that can be found in our own houses include airborne particles, which include dust, hair, pollen, household odors and gases from our cooking, the cigarette smoke in the house, chemicals, volatile organic compounds, VOCs, from paints, from glues, varnishes, or cleaning agents, microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, mold, yeast, and of course the outdoor air that entered our homes. So this slide just shows areas in our homes where the indoor air pollution can be found and where the organisms lurk. So ladies and gentlemen, how does air pollution affect human health? It is now a known fact that air pollution has an adverse effect upon human health. Cause and effect association has been proven between the air pollution and the diseases. For example, people living in polluted areas have been shown to suffer more from certain pollution-related diseases compared to people living in areas with fresher air. Air pollution has been dubbed by the WHO as the world's largest single environmental health risk. It is a significant public health problem responsible for a growing range of health effects that are well documented from results of an extensive research effort conducted in many regions of the world. Updated estimations reveal an alarming death toll of over 7 million people who died prematurely every year from diseases related to ambient and household air pollution. And this makes air pollution one of the biggest causes of diseases and death today, from stroke, from lung cancer, from heart disease, and so on. In fact, if we compare, this is much higher than the effects of ingesting too much salt and more or less similar to the consequences of smoking tobacco. So let us look at some of the health hazards. Some has been shown by Mr. O'Keefe. Yeah? So let us look at some of them. The main toxic effect of exposure to air pollutants are mainly on the major organ systems, namely respiratory, cardiovascular, neuropsychiatric, hematologic, reproductive, dermatologic, as well as ophthalmologic. The most serious effects due to molecular and cell toxicity may induce a variety of cancers. And the group most susceptible and vulnerable are children, elderly, women, and respiratory as well as cardiovascular disease patients. In the lungs, for example, because most of the pollutants enter the body through the airways, the respiratory system is in the first line of battle in the onset and progression of diseases resulted from these pollutants, causing worsening of chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, respiratory infections, including pneumonia, and reduced lung function. In the cardiovascular system, pollutants change heart function and increase our heart rhythm. It also cause blood vessels to become atherosclerotic and cause narrowing of vessels, resulting in hypertension. In the brain, it causes stroke, it causes brain ischemia, cognitive disorders, as well as neurodegenerative illness. In our blood system, hematological system, passage of particles through walls of blood vessels can occur and lead to blood flow problems and also thrombosis. In our reproductive system, the pollutants can cause fertility problems, miscarriages, fetal growth problems, premature birth, as well as low birth weight babies. It is now believed that there is a relationship between exposure to air-suspended toxic materials and nervous system, which includes neurological complications and psychiatric disorder. Skin, which is the body's first line of defense against a foreign pathogen or infectious agent, is the first organ that may be contaminated by a pollutant. Research on the skin has provided evidence that traffic-related air pollutants, especially PAH, VOCs, oxides, PM, affect skin aging and cause pigmented spots on the face. So be careful, you ladies out there. And as for the eyes, clinical effects of air pollution can vary from asymptomatic eye problems to dry eye syndrome. Chronic exposure to air pollutants increases the risk for retinopathy and adverse ocular outcomes. Looking at the mortality, ambient air pollution accounts for 29% death from lung cancer, 17% from acute lower respiratory infections, 24% from stroke, 25% from ischemic heart disease, and 43% from COPD. So, ladies and gentlemen, stopping pollution is the best solution. The way forward is to control current environmental issues by implementing conservation methods and create sustainable development strategies in order to restore our ecological balance. Keeping track on air quality and morbidity as well as mortality causes is very important. The World Health Organization monitors 3 air pollution-related SDG indicators, namely 3.9.1, 7.1.2, 11.6.2. The Ministry of Health Malaysia monitors air pollution-related morbidities at all our health facilities, our health clinics, hospitals countrywide. We have also developed relevant clinical practice guidelines for clinical management of diseases, as well as plan of action, one of which is the management during episode of haze. So collectively, as citizens of the world, be it at formal organizational level, NGOs, associations, or at individual level, there is so much that we all can do. The most basic solution for air pollution is to end its root causes, quit using coal, move away from fossil fuels, and replace coal and fossil fuels with cleaner, renewable energy. And to achieve this, everyone has to come together and be committed to act immediately. Among others, we can prevent outdoor pollution, we can work on improving energy efficiency to reduce fossil fuel use, we shall rely on lower polluting natural gas, we should start relying more on renewable energy like solar panels and solar-produced hydrogens. As for indoor air, perhaps cheap but efficient cook stoves or solar cooker should be made available to the poor families in the developing world. Smoking indoors should be banned, and developing simple and cheap indoor air pollutant tests to help us. By working on the solutions, we will be able to bring down air pollution, and by so doing, the overall outcome will be positive effect on human health. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, environmental pollution is one of the biggest problems caused mainly by human activities. Together, at all levels, we should start taking steps to help restore ecological balance. There are many environmental concerns for all of us to address, and I'm very confident that that can be done at this particular conference. By acting to stop pollution, we can protect the air around us, and we can protect our health. I just want to bring you to the last line of this poem, which says, if we don't finally band together, it may really be too late. And let us be committed and start to take steps to protect the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the soil we use to grow our food. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jamila, for the very meaningful keynote message. And now, last but not least, is our distinguished keynote speaker from the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, Mastek, Malaysia. She is a first-time Member of Parliament for Kota Belud and also the youngest female Deputy Minister from Sabah. In 2015, she participated in the International Visitors Leadership Program held in Washington, D.C., organized by the U.S. Department of State. She holds a Bachelor degree of Engineering from University Malaysia, Sabah, and she was an electrical engineer by training and profession prior to her political engagement. It is such an honor to have with us today the Honorable Isna Raisa Munira Majlis, the Deputy Minister of Mastek, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome the Honorable Isna Raisa.
Terima kasih, Saudari Pengerusi Majlis. Thank you. Yang Berusaha Dr. Jamila Hashim, Director Sarawak State Health Department, Representing Minister of Health, Dr. Nur Zaitun Yahaya, President Clean Air Forum Society Malaysia, MICAS, and Chairman of BAQ2018, Mr. Bjorn Pedersen, I hope I pronounce it correctly, Executive Director, Clean Air Asia, Mr. Peter Sawal, Controller of Environmental Quality, Natural Resources and Environment Board, NREB Sarawak, Mr. Robert O'Keefe, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Clean Air Asia, government agencies representatives, NGOs, students, ladies and gentlemen, and for those who came outside of Malaysia, welcome and selamat datang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. First and foremost, I would like to extend my appreciation and gratitude to the organizer for having me today at this conference. I'm truly honored and delighted to be here amongst the scientists, experts, researchers, students, and stakeholders in the 10th Better Air Quality Conference 2018. As you already know, I represent a new ministry, the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, or Mastek for short. Our ministry is both mouthful and handful as we are taking charge of the new Malaysia's course to a better environmental governance. At the ministerial level, we are always on the lookout for new technologies, solutions, and innovations that may help us to improve air quality in this region. Having said that, I would like to congratulate the organizer for staging a conference that matters not only for us, but for our future generation. Ladies and gentlemen, today, it is no doubt that air pollution is both environmental and public health crisis affecting each and every one of us. It is a type of pollution that nobody could escape from. Since everybody has to breathe, air pollution has eventually become everyone's problem. Globally, 9 out of 10 people breathe air that contains high levels of pollutants, which kills about 7 million people each year. This alarming statistic was revealed by the World Health Organization in May this year. In Malaysia, the top air pollution issues has been recognized as emission from vehicles, transboundary haze, and open burning. Although air pollution may not always be visible, in reality it is deadly. Polluted air discreetly penetrates and contaminates our organs, leading to serious diseases and deaths. Not many of us know that air pollution causes as many or more deaths in Malaysia, overtaking road accidents. According to another report by the World Health Organization, although air pollution has caused 6,251 deaths in Malaysia in 2012 alone, the deaths were due to heart disease, stroke, lung cancer, pulmonary disease, and lower respiratory disease. The study, however, does not include indoor air pollution, which would add up to the statistic and certainly be higher than those caused by road accidents. The number of people at risk may be much higher in the next decade if no regional action with global impact is put in place. As we are striving to move towards industrialization, we are also experiencing the air pollution and climate change disruptive feedback loop. Polluted air does not only contribute to climate change, but is also exacerbated by it. Likewise, the main sources of carbon dioxide emissions, which is the burning of fossil fuels, are both the key drivers of climate change and sources of air pollutants. These short-lived climate-forcing pollutants include methane, black carbon, ground-level ozone, and sulfate aerosols. Given the severity on the air pollution we are facing, the government today with MASTEC has taken several steps to combat air quality issues, which includes 1. Implementation of environmental quality monitoring program, which aims at improving the existing environmental quality monitoring system. 2nd, updating of Malaysia Air Pollutant Index by incorporating particles with an aerodynamic diameter less than 2.5 micrometer in the calculation index. 3rd, real-life updates of Air Pollutant Index in main city in Malaysia. 4, forging the national standard operation procedure on open burning. 5th, strengthen enforcement activities focusing on emission from the vehicles and industries. 6, conducting ground and air surveillance to detect and monitor any fire outbreaks. 7, revising the Malaysia New Ambient Air Quality Standards 2015 and many more ongoing efforts. However, realistically, no government in this world can by itself improve air quality without collective commitment by its individual citizen. In fact, to address the air quality problems, we need to acknowledge our interdependence, not just within Malaysia, but across the world. The Asian Agreement on Transboundary Haze Pollution, for example, obliges state parties, including Malaysia, to work hand in hand to prevent, monitor, and address transboundary haze pollution. Concerted commitment to combat air quality issue is also key to achieve the goals stipulated in the Sustainable Development Goals, Paris Climate Agreement, a new urban agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, I came to understand that this year, Better Air Quality Conference, 140 scientific papers will be presented, highlighting new findings, technologies, innovations, and solutions to air pollution. I am certain that this conference is an ideal avenue for all of you to share valuable knowledge and experience to improve air quality. The time has come for us to walk the talk. The time has come for us to advocate action to address air quality issues in the areas of knowledge sharing, increasing monitoring, supporting solution, and educating people. With that, I wish everyone a fruitful discussion and productive conference. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Isna Raisa. If you may please remain on stage for the souvenir presentation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite all of our distinguished guests, Dr. Noor, Mr. Biani, Mr. Peter, and Dr. Jamila to please come up on stage for the presentation of Memento. As a token of appreciation, may we invite Dr. Noor Zaitun, co-chair of BAQ Conference, to present a simple memento to the Honorable Isna Raisa, Deputy Minister of Mestek Malaysia, and Dr. Jamila, Director of Sarawak State Health Department, representing the Minister of Health, Malaysia. And now, may we invite Mr. Biani, Chair of BAQ Conference, to present the souvenirs to the Honorable Isna Raisa and Dr. Jamila. Okay, thank you everyone. May we invite the Honorable Isna Raisa and the rest of our distinguished guests to the VIP room for a press conference session. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the first half of our program for today. With that, we will take a short coffee break and please return to the Grand Hall at 11 a.m. Thank you.